First contact's price. The quantum sensors at Europa Station picked up the anomaly first. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings in disbelief as space itself seemed to tear open, disgorging hundreds of crystalline vessels that sparkled like deadly diamonds in Jupiter's reflected light. Her hands trembled as she initiated the emergency protocol that would wake every military commander on Earth. "This is not a drill," she broadcast. "First contact scenario Alpha 7 in progress. Unknown fleet, approximately 300 vessels, emerged from FTL near Jupiter's orbit." Within minutes, the Strategic Defense Council convened in their underground chamber beneath the Rocky Mountains. General Maya Rodriguez, her dark eyes scanning tactical displays, addressed the gathered leaders. "The quantum defense grid is online, but we're looking at technology far beyond our conventional capabilities. The alien transmission cut across all frequencies, its message clear and chilling. Your species has been monitored and found wanting. Surrender your world or face extinction. You have 12 hours to comply." President Chen Wei stood at the center of the chamber, her weathered face illuminated by holographic displays showing the advancing fleet. "Tell me about Project Oracle," she demanded, turning to Dr. James Sullivan, head of the Quantum Research Division. Sullivan's eyes lit up with a mix of excitement and fear. "It's ready, Madam President. Not tested at full scale, but ready. The quantum consciousness matrix can support up to 10 billion concurrent connections, every human mind linked, working as one." "The risks," General Rodriguez interrupted. "Unknown," Sullivan admitted. "We've never attempted to link more than 1,000 minds. The psychological impact of billions connecting simultaneously." He left the implications hanging. President Chen's expression hardened. "And our alternatives? Conventional weapons would be like throwing rocks at a star destroyer," Rodriguez answered. "Our most advanced ships might take out one or two of theirs, but we'd be annihilated." The decision weighed heavily on President Chen. Humanity had spent the last 50 years preparing for this moment, ever since the first quantum signals were detected suggesting intelligent life existed beyond Earth. The Oracle project wasn't just a defense system. It was an evolutionary leap forced by necessity. "Begin the initialization sequence," Chen ordered. "Alert all nations. Every human on Earth needs to be ready for neural synchronization when the time comes." As the alien fleet approached Mars, Earth's response seemed negligible. A few orbital platforms activated, and civilian ships retreated to planetary defense zones, but there was no mass military mobilization as expected. The alien commander, Supreme Executor Vex Thor, watched with something approaching disappointment. "These humans show less spirit than anticipated," he communicated to the Hive Mind Council. "Perhaps the extinction protocols are unnecessary. They may serve better as labor stock." But beneath the surface, humanity was preparing its greatest gambit. In secure facilities across the globe, quantum transmitters powered up. The Oracle network, hidden in orbital satellites and ground stations, prepared to link every human mind into a single vast consciousness. Dr. Sullivan worked frantically in his lab, making final adjustments to the neural interface protocols. "The key is maintaining individual identity while accessing the collective processing power," he explained to his team. "We're not creating a hive mind. We're building a quantum neural network with human minds as the processors." As the alien fleet crossed Mars orbit, President Chen made her final address to humanity. "For 50 years, we've prepared for this moment. The Oracle project will connect us all, making us stronger together than we ever could be apart. When the signal comes, embrace the connection. Trust in each other. Trust in humanity." The aliens' 12-hour deadline approached its final minutes. Vex Thor prepared to launch the first wave of destruction, targeting Earth's major population centers. His sensors detected an unusual quantum signature emanating from the planet, but his analysts dismissed it as background radiation. That was their first mistake. At precisely 0 hour, as alien weapons powered up, the Oracle network activated. Billions of human minds connected simultaneously, their collective consciousness expanding like a supernova of thought and will. The sensation was overwhelming, every human experiencing the thoughts, feelings, and memories of billions of others. But they didn't lose themselves. Instead, they found something more: unity without uniformity, strength through diversity, and a power that the aliens never imagined possible. The first alien ship to fire its weapons found its systems mysteriously locked. Then another and another. Across the fleet, quantum-encrypted systems began failing as the collective human consciousness reached out through space itself, their combined mental energy manipulating quantum states at a distance. Vexthor watched in horror as his mighty fleet was systematically disabled by an invisible force that defied all known physics. His last transmission to the Hivemind Council was cut short as Earth's quantum consciousness breached his ship's final firewalls. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and humanity had just revealed its true potential. But this was only the beginning, and no one, human or alien, could predict where this evolutionary leap would lead them. The hidden defense. The first hour of humanity's collective consciousness was chaos. Billions of minds struggled to find balance, their thoughts crashing together like waves in a storm. But in the Quantum Research Center beneath Geneva, Dr. Elena Rossi watched in amazement as patterns emerged from the chaos. "They're self-organizing," she whispered, her own mind connected to the vast network, while maintaining enough separation to observe. "It's beautiful." The human collective was arranging itself into specialized clusters. Military strategists naturally grouped together, their combined experience focusing on the alien fleet. Scientists formed think tanks, processing tactical data at unprecedented speeds. Artists and creators generated novel solutions that no military AI had ever conceived. In orbit, the alien fleet struggled against an enemy they couldn't understand. Their quantum-encrypted systems, previously thought impenetrable, were being rewritten by the second. Humanity's collective consciousness didn't just hack their computers, it rewrote the underlying quantum states of their technology. Supreme Executor Vexthor, now trapped aboard his disabled flagship, received desperate communications from his fleet. "The humans, they're in our systems, in our minds. They've broken through barriers that should be physically impossible." The truth was more fascinating than the aliens could comprehend. Humanity's quantum consciousness network had discovered that thought itself could influence quantum states across vast distances. Each human mind acted like a quantum computer, and billions of them working together could reshape reality at the subatomic level. Dr. Sullivan, still coordinating from his Rocky Mountain facility, monitored the network's evolution. "We're not just defending," he reported to President Chen. "Their communication happening at the speed of thought through the network. The collective is learning, adapting. It's developing new capabilities every minute." The alien fleet's secondary systems began to activate, launching automated drones toward Earth. But the human collective was ready. Civilian minds with expertise in remote piloting merged their consciousness, taking control of the alien drones mid-flight. Artists and video game designers contributed their spatial awareness and quick reflexes, turning the aliens' weapons against them. But the strain on the human psyche was intense. Dr. Rossi detected concerning patterns in the neural network. "We need to rotate people out," she warned. "The human brain isn't designed to maintain this level of connection indefinitely." President Chen, her consciousness spread across the network while maintaining her leadership role, made a quick decision. "Implement the wave protocol. 20% of the population at a time, 30-minute breaks." The rotation began immediately, with people seamlessly switching between connected and disconnected states. This created an unexpected advantage. Those who temporarily disconnected brought fresh perspectives when they rejoined, preventing the collective from falling into mental ruts. Meanwhile, the alien fleet faced a crisis of understanding. Their entire civilization was built on technological superiority, but humanity had transcended conventional technology. Vexthor watched helplessly as humans reprogrammed his ship's quantum cores, transforming them into extensions of Earth's defense network. How? He demanded during a forced communication with President Chen. Your species was supposed to be primitive, barely able to reach your own moon. Chen's response came not in words but in shared consciousness, a brief glimpse into humanity's history of adaptation, innovation, and determination. Vexthor recoiled from the mental contact, his species' rigid hierarchical thinking unable to process the fluid, collaborative nature of human consciousness. But victory wasn't assured. As the battle entered its sixth hour, Dr. Sullivan detected anomalies in the quantum network. The aliens are adapting, he warned. They're attempting to introduce quantum chaos into our network. If they succeed, they could disrupt our collective consciousness. In response, the human collective did something unprecedented. Instead of fighting the chaos, they embraced it. Artists, musicians, and dreamers moved to the forefront of the network, their creative minds naturally attuned to chaos and contradiction. They transformed the aliens' attacks into new patterns, new possibilities. They don't understand, Dr. Rossi realized, watching the process unfold. Their civilization values order and hierarchy above all. But humans, we thrive on chaos. We find patterns in it, beauty in it, opportunity in it. The alien fleet's attack became their undoing. Every attempt to disrupt the human consciousness only made it stronger, more adaptive, more creative. Ships that hadn't been captured began to retreat, their commanders unable to comprehend how their perfect strategy had been defeated. But as humanity's victory seemed assured, Dr. Sullivan made a disturbing discovery. The quantum network was picking up signals from deep space. More alien fleets, larger than the first, were being mobilized. And in the vast consciousness of humanity's collective mind, a new understanding emerged. This wasn't just a battle for Earth. It was humanity's first step into a larger, more complex galactic community that wasn't ready for what humans could become. The real war was just beginning. Evolution's edge. The quantum sensors that first detected the alien fleet now blazed with new signatures. Dr. Chen's original warning had become a prophecy. Humanity's victory over Vexthor's forces was just the beginning. 3 more fleets, each larger than the first, were converging on Earth from different sectors of space. But humanity was no longer the same species that faced the first invasion. The quantum consciousness network had changed them fundamentally, awakening dormant capabilities that had always existed in human DNA. Dr. Rossi made the discovery while studying neural patterns in the collective consciousness. Our brains evolved with quantum capabilities we never knew about, she explained to the Global Defense Council, her thoughts reaching them instantly through the network. The Oracle project didn't create these abilities. It just gave us a way to access them. The evidence was undeniable. Humans connected to the network were developing new sensory abilities. They could perceive quantum states directly, see the underlying patterns of reality, and even influence them with practiced thought. It was as if humanity had been given a new sense, as revolutionary as sight would be to a species that had only known touch. President Chen, now leading both through traditional channels and the quantum network, recognized the implications immediately. We're not just fighting for survival anymore, she broadcast to the collective consciousness. We're fighting for our right to evolve. The captured ships from Vexthor's fleet provided crucial intelligence. The aliens called themselves the Concordat, a coalition of species united by their belief in technological supremacy. They saw natural evolution as messy and inefficient, preferring to advance through artificial means. Humanity's quantum consciousness was an affront to everything they believed. Dr. Sullivan, working with the enhanced processing power of the collective, made a startling discovery in the Concordat's historical records. We're not the first, he revealed. There were others who developed similar abilities. The Concordat didn't just defeat them, they erased them from history. The knowledge spread through the quantum network like wildfire, igniting a fierce determination in the collective human consciousness. They would not be erased. They would not be forgotten. They would show the galaxy another way. As the new fleets approached, humanity prepared not just their defenses but their next evolutionary step. The quantum network was expanding, becoming more sophisticated. People found they could maintain their connection even while sleeping, their dreams becoming shared spaces of incredible innovation. The network is stabilizing, Dr. Rossi reported. We're developing natural filters, learning to control the flow of consciousness. It's like we're growing a new kind of nervous system, one that spans the entire species. The first of the new alien fleets arrived at the edge of the solar system, led by Grand Admiral Ixel, a veteran of 1,000 campaigns. His ships were equipped with countermeasures designed specifically to disrupt human quantum communications, but he had prepared for the last war, not the new one. The human collective didn't just communicate through quantum channels, they had become quantum channels. Each mind was now a node in a vast living network that existed partially outside normal spacetime. The aliens' countermeasures were like trying to stop an ocean with a net. Humanity's response to this new threat showed how far they had evolved in just a few days. Instead of hacking the alien ships, they reached directly into the quantum structure of space around them. Thousands of minds working in perfect harmony created quantum interference patterns that disrupted the aliens' faster-than-light drives. Ixel watched in horror as his fleet was forced back into normal space, their advanced technology rendered useless by forces he couldn't comprehend. What are they? He demanded of his science officers. What have they become? The answer came not in words but in understanding. The human collective consciousness reached out to the alien minds, not to attack, but to share. For a brief moment, Ixel and his crew experienced what humanity had discovered: the joy of true connection, the power of shared consciousness, the potential that lay dormant in all sentient beings. Some of the aliens recoiled from the contact, their rigid worldviews unable to accept this new reality. But others, particularly among the younger crew members, felt an awakening in their own minds. The quantum potential that humanity had tapped into wasn't unique to humans. It was a fundamental aspect of conscious life itself. Dr. Rossi, monitoring the interaction, realized the true significance of what was happening. We're not just defending Earth anymore, she shared through the network. We're starting a revolution in consciousness itself. As the other alien fleets approached, humanity prepared not for a battle but for a transformation. They would show the galaxy that true advancement came not from dominating nature, but from understanding and embracing it. The human species had found its role in the cosmic drama, not as conquerors or victims, but as awakeners. The next phase of the conflict would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of consciousness throughout the galaxy. Breaking the chain. The quantum consciousness network detected the disturbance first, a ripple in spacetime that spoke of ancient technology awakening. Deep within the Concordet's territory, something vast and terrible was stirring. Dr. Sullivan, linked with thousands of other scientists through the network, analyzed the readings with growing concern. They're activating the chains, he announced to the collective. Quantum suppression fields designed to lock down the natural evolution of consciousness itself. Through captured Concordat databases, humanity had discovered the truth behind the alien coalition's fear. Centuries ago, the founding species of the Concordat had encountered the same evolutionary crossroads that humanity now faced. But instead of embracing their quantum potential, they chose to suppress it, creating technology that would ensure no species could ever threaten their technological dominance. President Chen, her consciousness now seamlessly integrated with both her individual identity and the collective, called an emergency council. Representatives from every nation, their thoughts merging in the quantum network, confronted the existential choice before them. The chains aren't just weapons, Dr. Rossi explained, sharing direct sensor data through the network. They're reality anchors designed to lock consciousness into rigid, hierarchical patterns. If they activate their full network, it could prevent any species in the galaxy from achieving quantum consciousness. The remaining alien fleets had taken up strategic positions throughout the solar system, but they weren't attacking. They were waiting. Grand Admiral Ixel, still reeling from his encounter with human consciousness, broke ranks and established secret contact with Earth. The Concordat elders speak of a time before the chains, he revealed, his thoughts cautiously merging with the human network, when consciousness flowed freely between species, when evolution had no bounds. They call it the time of chaos, but some of us think it was something else, something better. Through the quantum network, humanity shared Ixchel's revelation instantly, but they also sensed the approaching wave of quantum suppression, like a tide of darkness threatening to extinguish their newfound light. Dr. Sullivan, working with a global think tank of quantum physicists, proposed an audacious solution. The chains work by imposing order on quantum states, forcing consciousness into predictable patterns. But chaos is the natural state of quantum reality. If we can amplify the inherent uncertainty in the quantum field, we could shatter the chains. Dr. Rossi finished, the concept flowing through the collective consciousness. But it would take more power than humanity has ever wielded. We'd need to link not just with each other, but with the quantum fabric of space-time itself. The decision wasn't made by any one person or group. It emerged from the collective wisdom of humanity, a consensus born of billions of connected minds. They would attempt to break the chains, not just for themselves, but for all conscious beings in the galaxy. As the suppression field approached Earth, humanity began its greatest experiment. Through the quantum network, every human mind focused on a single purpose. Artists envisioned the chaos of possibility. Scientists calculated quantum uncertainties. Spiritualists embraced the mystery of existence, all their thoughts combining into a wave of pure creative potential. The aliens watched in awe as Earth began to glow with quantum energy. The human consciousness network wasn't fighting the approaching suppression field. It was embracing it, using its own rigid structure as a catalyst for change. They're doing the impossible, Ixchel broadcast to his fleet. They're turning order into chaos. The moment of contact between the human quantum field and the Concordat suppression wave created a cascade of reality-shifting proportions. The chains, designed to impose absolute order, met a force that celebrated uncertainty and possibility. The resulting quantum feedback loop spread through the galaxy at superluminal speeds. On thousands of worlds, ancient quantum suppression technologies began to fail. Species that had been unconsciously restricted for generations felt the first stirrings of their true potential. The rigid hierarchy of the Concordat faced its greatest fear: the return of unrestricted consciousness evolution. But the process was far from controlled. As the chains shattered, waves of quantum chaos swept through civilized space. Humanity, having initiated this galactic transformation, now faced an even greater challenge: helping guide the galaxy through the chaos of rebirth. Through the quantum network, Dr. Rossi detected new consciousness patterns emerging throughout space. "We're not alone anymore," she shared with the collective. Other species, they're awakening. They're reaching out. The war for Earth had become something far more significant, a revolution in the very nature of galactic civilization. As the dust settled and the quantum chaos began to stabilize, humanity realized they had not just defended their right to evolve, they had unleashed an unstoppable wave of evolution throughout the galaxy. The final confrontation with the Concordat leadership loomed, but now humanity wouldn't face it alone. Across space, newly awakened consciousness called out to join them in shaping the galaxy's future. Tomorrow's dawn. 1 month after the shattering of the chains, Earth had become the center of a new galactic awakening. The quantum consciousness network that began as humanity's desperate defense had evolved into something far more profound, a blueprint for species-wide enlightenment that was spreading across the stars. Dr. Elena Rossi stood in the newly constructed Quantum Assembly, a vast chamber designed to host both physical and consciousness-linked representatives from awakening civilizations. Through the network, she could sense the mental signatures of thousands of species, each one unique, yet all connected by the fundamental quantum nature of consciousness. "We never imagined this," she shared with Dr. Sullivan, who was simultaneously present in the chamber and coordinating with quantum researchers on 50 different worlds. "We thought we were fighting for survival, but we were really midwives to a galactic rebirth. The remains of the Concordette's leadership had retreated to their ancestral stronghold, a massive space station orbiting a dying star. But their isolation was self-imposed. The quantum revolution had transformed their own people, with younger generations embracing their awakened consciousness despite centuries of technological suppression. President Chen, now serving as Earth's representative to the emerging Galactic Quantum Council, received the news they had all been waiting for. The last holdouts of the old order were ready to talk. "They want to understand," former Grand Admiral Ixel explained, his consciousness now permanently linked to the human network as a bridge between old and new. "They've seen that their fear of chaos was really fear of change, of loss of control. The young ones are showing them another way." The quantum network had revealed something profound about consciousness itself. It wasn't meant to be controlled or suppressed, but nurtured and allowed to grow naturally. Each species that awakened brought new perspectives, new ways of experiencing reality, new possibilities for evolution. Dr. Sullivan's team had documented over 1,000 unique manifestations of quantum consciousness across different species. Some experienced time non-linearly, others could perceive multiple quantum realities simultaneously, and still others had developed ways of communicating that transcended known physics. "The diversity is the key," Dr. Rossi explained to a gathering of scientists from across the galaxy. "The Concordat tried to impose uniformity, but the true power of consciousness lies in its infinite variety. Humanity's role in this new galaxy was unique. They hadn't just broken the chains. They had shown a middle path between chaos and control, a way of maintaining individual identity while participating in collective consciousness. Other species looked to Earth not as conquerors or saviors, but as pioneers who had mapped the first steps of a journey they would all take together. The transformation wasn't without its challenges. Some species struggled with their newly awakened abilities, while others faced cultural crises as their societies adapted to new ways of thinking and being. Earth had become a center for learning, with humans sharing their experiences and helping others navigate the challenges they had already faced. President Chen, addressing the first formal gathering of the Quantum Council, spoke of the future they were building. "We stand at the dawn of a new age of consciousness, not one of technological dominance or evolutionary suppression, but of infinite growth and possibility. Every species brings its own gifts, its own perspective, its own potential to the greater whole." The quantum network that spanned the galaxy was becoming more sophisticated, more nuanced. Species learned to share consciousness while maintaining their unique identities, creating a tapestry of thought and experience richer than anything previously imagined. Dr. Rossi, monitoring the growing connections, made perhaps the most profound discovery of all. "The network isn't just linking us to each other," she revealed. "It's connecting us to the quantum fabric of the universe itself. Consciousness isn't just an emergent property of complex brains. It's a fundamental force of reality, as basic as gravity or electromagnetism." The implications were staggering. As species after species awakened to their quantum potential, the very nature of civilization began to change. The rigid hierarchies and technological arms races of the past gave way to a new kind of evolution, one driven by consciousness itself. The former Concordat worlds, their quantum suppression technology now dismantled, were experiencing their own renaissance. Centuries of restricted evolution were giving way to an explosion of potential, guided by the experience of humanity and other awakened species. "This isn't the end of history," Dr. Sullivan observed, watching new quantum signatures bloom across the galactic map. "It's the beginning of a new chapter in the evolution of consciousness itself." As Earth's sun set on the first year of this new era, humanity looked to the stars with different eyes. They had faced extinction and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. The galaxy was no longer a battlefield of competing technologies, but a garden of evolving consciousness, with each species contributing to a symphony of thought and potential that would reshape the very nature of reality itself. The war was over, the awakening had begun, and somewhere in the quantum web that connected all conscious beings, the first stirrings of even greater possibilities were beginning to emerge. The end.